Okay. I think my love of Avatar is getting a bit revived by the whole seven happy things. And if you feel like thinking I was talking about that James Cameron movie or that old Tick Domo made by a guy who is on council that's supporting AI, so you're wrong. I'm supporting the one with the magical elements and such, and I got about two works that definitely did help support remind me of a bit of my love for Avatar and what I want to see more of. And well, they came out with the new Avatar Legends series called, and the first one is City of Echoes by Judy I or L Lynn, and well, I think she wrote another couple of book series that I'm probably gonna check out and all. So, yeah. Anyway, City of Echoes is basically a story, basically showing that Jin, the girl Zuko dated in his tale about singing, say. Basically, we get her story. And a bit more about her story. Basically, aside from just being that guy Zook, that some girl Zuko dated, she was this refugee who lost her family to Fire Nation, and she's trying to support her alien grandpa. She was apparently an earthbender, and she has a best friend who is pretty queer and such. Okay, that was probably my cat dying in my room. I'll I'll definitely have to feed him as soon as I get to done this. Basically, she has a best friend who works at a bakery and has to be take a contract to save her father's gambling debt, and in turn, she wants Jen. Well, the day with Zuka with the guy who is known as Lee. She, she has her own problems. She is wanting to help just not take care of her grandfather and not cause him too much pain, especially since he's kind of forcing her to be a scholar and be a warrior earthbender, which kind of makes her feel lonely, but a bit more lonelier than usual. Which, and I seem to know this theme of parents who think they are doing what's best for a child, but it might not exactly make them happy. I seem to have noticed that thing cropping up in the books I've read this year. And if you want a good recommendation for what a book I've read that explores that theme the best, I recommend Hotel on the Corner, Bitter and Sweet. It's actually a really good novel. It's you're probably gonna find it on the banned book list because it involves Japanese internment. Okay, so and moving on. Basically, Jin wants to enter her pursuit of helping out, trying to gain money so she can free her friend from whatever contract that is. It She goes to this nearby school and gets involved as a black market group called the Silver Rings, and she learns the that the contract Shushu got herself into is basically remember how there are multiple Jolies that and apparently that's the contract. These all those Jolies were basically innocent Earth Kingdom ladies who were just probably wanted to help free their families from debt and just got brainwashed. And we see part of this book being that being the doing of the whole brainwashing. And of course, the boyfriend in school, Jean, from that Jin g- helps get Jen and the job that will black market job that she just joins to get them try to see about getting money. Just also gets her into in a lot of things about conspiracy and Jay and she actually meets eats and short prevents Charbly and Longshot since especially after the Jeff and we get Jet's funeral and yeah, and we also see what the evasion of the Pirate Nation was like when through the point of view of actually being Earth Kingdom citizen. Also, they and they we get a good explanation of why Lake Cloud how but the fact that Lake Cloud guy that basically that guy was it basically got well they basically were able it kind of stayed intact at the time when the team out the gang were trying showing off that yes the 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 Daily were trying to lie like the Earth King and apparently there was no entrance that Snarl being Longshot used they're part of the reason why it's that part of the reasons why that thing was flooded by Time Legend Core Gap, but they managed to get a general like one of the generals that the Daily captured during the finale and all, and that, and we get basically what's like if you found out that the one person who's gonna probably save you all just got killed and basically we also get so yeah these characters were essentially ended up being involved overthrowing the bit. They also had their own Black Sun invasion that failed, and they also get to be part of that fight with with when taking back boxing say yeah and so all and yes even the final chapter feels Jin learning that she is the new Fire Lord and all. So yeah, and don't worry, she that John guy, she gets a romance him, and well, I find it's a bit Makor related, core coded, because they don't get along, but they get to know at first, but they get to know each other and really like each other's company and all, and be better and just get together and well, let's face it, we got more White Lotus peep connections in here. And, well, yeah, I recommend this book. In fact, I really did. I was able to enjoy enough that I am going to check out the other books by the author, which it's a shame because I'm not doing the same for the people for the guys who wrote the other books that are actual avatars, but yeah. So, and my other book that kind of revived my interest in Avatar is, well, apparently the only Legend of Korra comic I'm willing to pay money for and buy, which is The Mystery of Penguin Island, which is basically Mako having what is essentially both a Painted Lady episode and a Southern Raiders episode. And further proof of why I think the final season should have took place in the Fire Nation, because, well, basically, we learn about the bit of the Fire Nation of Mako Bowling's family as Mako finds himself on this case where, well, finds himself on an unofficial case where he is trying to help some kids, and then his and Dolan he kind of gets involved and figures out it seems to be connected to their mother, and they end up going to what ends up being the island, the Bangkwan Island, which is where they grew up, where she grew up, and well, it also turns out this that the island is basically run by the Fire Nation equivalent of white supremacists, because they, well, or MAGA hats, because they're basically very sexist and have this whole blood pride and such, and they're really and yeah, they really get wearing flags, and they, well, and we even can learn that the leader guy is locking people, is trying to keep people in, and their mother would actually try to actively help people out after escaping herself, and was probably killed for it. Yeah, you can. Mako finds the man, finds out there was more to his parents' death than a monkey, and he gets be right to be mad and yeah, and just, well, and show off how mad he is at the people, at the guy who's responsible for his parents' death. And well, I guess the fact that we get all this, we learn all about Huckabulin's mother and how she basically escaped a terrible life, then and then proceeded to do more to help others escape such a bad life, just a horrible experience, even if it killed her, even though Shuri had a lot to live for. It kind of probably reminds me of how Mako really fell in love with Korra, and yep, I'm always gonna be a heartbroken McCoy shaper. Not a butthurt McCoy shaper. The anonymous tumble user who went to my Xbox to call me that. That, you know what you did. The term is heartbroken, not butter. So, yeah. I do, when I originally thought of Bago, now Key, I almost want to say she was a non-bender who had who had her own big family and probably just wanted to leave and just see the world a bit and discover herself and just end up family. But the book, but but the events of this book, though, they did a lot better for her, and kind of sad that they're Bowling and don't at least get to go on a trail to find, like, it turns out Maki had a sibling who just moved further into the Fire Nation, and they could go on another mystery to find this extended family member. But the tragedy that she had was only child and just left after she lost her parents is also deep, and just really good book and just really good comic. And my only question that makes you, well, tempted to look at the other Legend Chorus comics is, I just want to know if Opal and Bolin are still together. Are they still a couple? Cause that's the only question. And all the links to and the Opal tags online. Well, I'm mostly getting some stuff about a service in a foreign country that might be India, but I can't really know for sure. But it's just that I'm not getting a lot of Opal content like Bolin and Opal, the ship. I just want to know if those two are still together. That's all. Just give me a yes. So if you have read the Legend of Korra comics and you know whether or not Bolin and Opal is there together, just give me your yes or no episode. Just a yes or no answer. So anyway, I know I will be making a vlog for Weekend in Roku when I read it, but I'm just waiting for that book to come out first. Just, yeah. So I'll probably see if it's in stock when next time I can go out. So, yeah. And, well, Happy New Year. Let's hope. And let's face it, I'm action in Mimi movies are doing well, and Paramount's not seeing it. They're just probably focusing on the lead of the Avatar. But let's face it, the Avatar they have a lot better. Okay, have a good day.